All right. Today's a fun topic. If you know me, then you know I love this topic, but
Speaking your
Kelsey does
language.
too. So if
Yes.
you follow us on social media or if you follow me or know me, um, then you know health and fitness is something I love. It's obvious. It's my other job is a nutrition and fitness coach, but Kelsey also loves health and fitness,
Yes.
um, which is something that we talk about pretty much daily together.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
we also live two different um
Yeah.
varieties of it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. We
Kind
both like
of. Yeah.
macros. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We both like balance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little
Yep.
bit more extreme than you are at times, which I've tried to work on, but
Yes. Yeah. Well, you have that all or nothing mindset
yeah,
a little more, which we
that's
all have, but
mm-hmm.
you do, I guess, I don't know, that comes out of you more, I guess, that
Uh-huh.
all or
Yeah,
nothing.
especially like if I'm frustrated with like where I'm at or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So we're
but
going to
yeah,
talk
so I
about
think
that and,
yeah, just
you know,
like balance,
yeah.
balancing it all.
Yeah, finding the balance in being a busy mom with your
Mm-hmm.
health and nutrition and then your fitness too,
Yeah.
in the exercise world.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of, let me just start by saying there's a lot of fitness influencers out there that are not relatable. They're not
Yeah.
realistic and not
Mm-hmm.
relatable. So we'll just start by saying that.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind,
Yeah.
that you are not doing anything wrong.
Yeah. You can't follow somebody and compare yourself to them that has a totally different lifestyle than you
Hmm.
do.
Hmm.
Like, if you've got 5 kids and you're following a college student with no kids, your routine's never going to look the same. Like, you're
Yeah,
never going to be able to live that same lifestyle.
no.
And you've just
Either
kind of got to know
the
that.
young 20s that's all they do is live at the gym
Mm-hmm.
and they live the influencer lifestyle, or someone who is older and does have maybe even three,
Mm-hmm.
4, 5 kids, but maybe has the finances to have a nanny help with the
Yeah.
kids all the time, or
Yeah.
like has a lot of help,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
can spend more time at the gym. Or some people live in a better town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like have like Lifetime Fitness is a big one,
Yeah.
that has a lot of great childcare and stuff. I don't have one of
Mm-hmm.
those around
Yeah.
me,
Just more access. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, access depending on where you live.
But I will say this not to say like I definitely follow some girls that their lifestyle is totally different than mine,
Hmm.
but they post like some workouts that I love and,
Yeah.
some different things that I can pull things from, but I just have to know realistically, like that's never going to be at this season of my life, my lifestyle ever
Yeah.
again. I mean, I'm never going to be 20 and in college ever again,
Yeah.
you know?
No, unfortunately not.
And I don't think I would go back.
Maybe for like a week.
Maybe, maybe.
Just to do things differently, maybe. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could
But
be
yeah,
fun.
so all of that, like with all of that, one of the things I think we want to start with is like there's so many extremes out there. Like with social media, especially the health and fitness world, I mean, you have access to so much information, but I mean, I don't know how
Never
accurate
ending.
all of it. Well, it's never ending, but not all that information you're going to be given is accurate
Or maybe not
um,
accurate for you
or maybe not accurate.
either,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true too. Yeah.
Just like right now, a big topic on social media everywhere is cortisol and being stressed and, your adrenals and things like that. And,
Hmm.
you know, there's a lot of truth to it, but at the same time, there's a lot of extremes and
Yeah. Hmm.
um, excuses to it too.
Yeah. Well, and it's an easy clickbait trap with
Hmm.
cortisol. I mean, I have had moments where I'm like, huh, everything they're describing in that video is
Hmm.
that's what I'm dealing with right now. Maybe it's my cortisol. So that is a very easy one to kind of catch your attention and make you think that's what your issue is.
Yeah. And for
Um,
some people it is.
some
That's
people it
yeah.
is,
But
but
you
some
don't
people
know
it's
that
not
unless you get tested, and
exactly.
you can't just assume that what's wrong with someone else is what's
Hmm.
quote unquote, wrong
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just want
There's
to kind of
just
talk about balancing
hmm
all of that,
hmm
kind of drowning out social media, listening to your own body. There's a lot of good things on social media, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like, because I mean, hey, that's how I get my clients is
Yeah.
by sharing my faster way business on social media. So nothing wrong with that. Just don't get too caught up in it.
Hmm.
to start there and just the whole world of what all is
Mhm.
available and what all your options are. Really like kind of take a step back and decide what works for you and what
Mhm.
works for you right now.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, I used to teach Pure Barre and
Mhm.
I love group fitness classes, always have. I love Pure Barre. I try to go when I can every now and then, which is like once a
Mhm.
month at this point in life. Um, but for me personally, what works for me fitness wise is doing it at home
Mhm.
because I know I can stay consistent by
Mhm.
going upstairs with my dumbbells and pushing play for a 30-minute workout. I know I can do that 4 or 5 days a week without a
Yeah,
doubt. If my
which is
kids
the
are
biggest
homesick, I
thing.
can still do
Mhm.
it. If we're super busy, I can still squeeze it in at some point while they're playing in the playroom. So,
Mhm. Which is the biggest thing with finding what works for you
mhm,
is what you're gonna enjoy and what you're gonna be consistent with.
mhm.
Because if you don't enjoy something and you're not consistent with it, it's never gonna work for you
Yeah.
because you're not gonna do it. So
Mhm.
where you like working out at home, I love going to the gym and I love the weight room.
Yep. And it's
That's
so perfect for you too because you
mhm.
can take Hadley to school
Yep.
early. She starts at
It
what,
starts
7
at
o'clock? S
7:30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7:30
7:30.
and 7:30, which I'll be there in August. She starts at
Mhm.
7:30 and then you go right to the gym.
Right
It's
to the gym.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've got childcare for Reed and it's great. And so that's the season that I'm in and that's what I love. But that's not to say, I've been in the weight room consistently for, a couple of years now. And I had some inflammation stuff going on with my psoriasis and my autoimmune stuff.
Mhm.
And I had to take a step back from it and work in some Pilates classes and, some bar classes and just kind of take a little bit of stress off my body. And that's done amazing things for me.
Yeah.
So, you've just got to find what works for you. You've got to find what you enjoy, what you'll be consistent at, but you've also got to not be scared to try something new if your body's not responding to what you are doing
Mhm.
or, to take a break from something.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. And
Well, and
like,
even to add on to that, it's okay to not be extreme,
mhm,
right?
yeah,
We think, well, there's a lot of fitness classes out there too that push kind of extreme and
yeah,
competition and things like that. And while that's fun and might be good for a little while or something like that,
mhm,
sometimes those things can add stress to the
yeah,
body. And when you have
mhm,
little kids or you're a busy mom or you're a working mom, like sometimes we do need to take a step back and realize, I just
mhm,
don't think that's for me right
yeah,
now
mhm,
because, it's not working. So let
yep,
me try something else for a little
mhm,
while
mhm.
or let me rearrange these workouts.
Which I've got a friend, and I work out with her, almost every day, and
Hmm.
she's a bodybuilder. Like she's
Hmm.
bikini contest, like that is her body thrives in it. She loves it.
Yep.
That's how she loves to work out. I'm never going to get her to a workout class, I don't think, which is fine because she has found
Hmm.
what works so well for her. I've got another friend who has always done hit classes and, weightlifted and stuff like that. And, she's got an autoimmune. And over the last year, she's had to figure out that doesn't work well for me. And she
Hmm.
does Pilates and bar and looks better than she's ever looked. I mean, which
Hmm.
that's not what it's about, but she feels better than she's ever felt. And,
Hmm.
she's had to totally change up what she does. Where this
Hmm.
other girl, she's done this for, 20 years
And you're talking
and
about
never
three
going to
different
change.
people, you
Hmm.
and both of your
Hmm.
friends, like all three of y'all are different and
And yours is a
different
different
things
every
works for y'all.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. So again, it's just one of those social media can paint such a pretty picture of what a workout routine can look like, but there's so many things going on in your life that social media doesn't account for, and you have to figure out what works for you.
Yeah, you do. At the end of the day, figure out what works for you and what you
Mhm.
enjoy.
Mhm.
And but we talked about that too, because you truly enjoy being in the
I
weight room
love the weight room. Yeah.
and doing weights. And
Mhm.
I truly enjoy like group classes, but at the end of
Mhm.
the day, I enjoy more than anything consistency of working
Mhm.
out because of the benefits that it gives me. So
Yep.
whatever you need at the moment, to
Got to
keep
listen to your
yourself
body.
consistent too, listen to your body, but also know that sometimes trying something new, you might be surprised,
Yeah.
that you do
Mhm.
actually really enjoy that.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean you can't go back to other things and change things up throughout the years. You have plenty of
Mhm.
time to do it all, right?
Mhm.
But finding what works that keeps you happy, that you can be consistent with, and that's not too
Mhm.
extreme.
Yeah.
You should never be. Like, listen to how your body feels with working out too. An hour later, 2 hours later, you should not be exhausted. A workout should give you energy, so keep that in mind
Mhm.
as well.
Yep.
You don't have to be like laid out on the floor, drenched in sweat, dying after a workout.
Yeah.
That's fun every now and then.
Now
I
and then, yeah.
mean,
But
yeah,
is
I
it?
mean,
I don't
I
know.
don't, yeah, right. You're
I
right.
don't know.
I mean, it can be fun. I like a little competition here and
Yeah.
there and stuff with that. But at the end of the day, where we are, we need
Mhm.
energy
Yeah.
from the
I
time
need,
we
like,
wake
to get
up
be
to
able to
the
get through
time
that
we go to
afternoon.
bed. So for me, that, I want to make sure what I'm doing energizes me and
Yeah,
makes me feel good.
absolutely.
Then I look forward
Mhm.
to doing it again tomorrow.
Yeah. And then that's, a great transition into talking about, like, your diet. So they're
Hmm.
gonna go diet and exercise is gonna go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And for, whatever workout you're gonna do, you have to be able to you have to fuel your body.
Yeah.
But that's gonna look different for everybody.
Hmm.
I mean, even for me and you, like, well, this is something we've talked about. You have figured out where your maintenance, like where
Yeah.
your body thrives at your maintenance. You have figured
Yeah.
that out. For me, over the years, one thing I have figured out, I do better with a little lower carb
Hmm.
and a
Oh
little
yeah.
higher
Yeah.
fat. My
Yeah.
body works really well if I cut back on the carbs and
Some
up the
people are
fat
a
a
little
little
more
bit.
carb sensitive than
And that's the
others.
thing, until you've just got to figure that out. And it
Yep.
takes time and it takes trying some different things, but you don't have to try anything extreme. I
No.
did, and I'm not here to hate on keto. Keto served a very big purpose in my life, and
Hmm.
I'm very appreciative of that. But it was only for, 6 months that it served that purpose. And that's not gonna be for everybody. Like, that can, if you're not doing it correctly, which I didn't do it correctly, it can mess some stuff up.
Yeah.
It
Especially
did some
for
good
women.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did some good things, but it also messed up some things with my hormones.
It's a short term.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
can be good for a short period
Mhm.
of time. Which is why I've really loved learning how to carb cycle a little more because I can
Exactly.
kind of get best of both worlds. But
Mhm.
um, I mean, we can get so deep into like macros, but to play on that, like me and Kelsey
Mhm.
do both enjoy macros. I
Mhm.
truly believe macros is so great for, I don't want to say everybody because it's not great for everybody, but it's great for people that kind of need an eye opener on like,
Mhm.
what are carbs, what are protein, what are fat,
Mhm.
but you can't really figure out a good balance of it. Macros
Yeah.
really teaches you that, and it
Yeah.
kinda teaches you one of um, our Faster Way has a podcast I was listening to the other day, and the guest on it said it perfectly. He was like, "Calories, determine your weight, right? Your overall weight. Macros determine how you look,
Mhm.
and micros determine how you feel." And that's exactly what they do.
Mhm.
Here to say I think macros teach somebody so much, and I
Mhm.
truly enjoy tracking my food and doing macros. I could do it like every single day of the year. It doesn't bother me. But there are
Yeah.
people that don't need that
No,
and can get
there's
too obsessed with it.
Mhm.
I'm really good about
Mhm.
not obsessing over it.
Mhm.
I'm fine with carbs and fats not being balanced exactly what my number and
Mhm.
goal says it's supposed to be. But some people get too obsessive. And if that's the
Mhm.
case,
It's not for you.
stop. Yeah, intuitive
Yeah.
eating is the way to go. Learn how to
Mhm.
balance your plate in front of you, making sure you have protein, carbs,
Mhm.
and fats, fiber on your plate. But don't worry about numbers as much.
Right.
Really listen to your body and,
Mhm.
how you
Yeah.
feel.
Which I'm one that it's good for me to take. I couldn't do it year round. I have to
Hmm.
take a break for it because I do
Yeah.
get obsessive, but that's that all or nothing
Well,
mindset
and
that I
I
have.
break a lot. I mean, there's
Yeah.
definitely Saturdays, Sundays I don't track at all because I just don't want to, or
Yeah.
we're eating out, and I'm like, I don't,
Mhm.
it's whatever.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I really like it. And then like vacations, no, I'm never
Yeah.
gonna, never
Well, yeah.
gonna track
Yeah.
my food on
No.
vacation.
But
Um,
you've built such a foundation with it that you're also not
mhm.
gonna go on vacation and go crazy either, you know?
Well, what's really weird, and I mean, not weird, it's just part of it. I mean, I've been tracking macros for what? It'll be 4 years in July. I think that's right. Yeah, because Lila will
Yeah.
be 3, four
Right
years
before
in
Lila.
July. I had started tracking macros like 3 months before I got pregnant with Lila. But what the main thing I've learned is no matter where I go, it's almost it's kind of a bad thing. It might be a little negative, but no matter where I go, even a restaurant, I'm like subconsciously thinking, is there protein in this meal? If
Yeah.
there's not, I'm gonna add it,
Yeah. Which
But
is
that's
not a bad
not
thing though.
it's not like a for like physical appearance
Mm-mm.
type. It's not for that. It's literally how I feel. I
Yeah.
know protein keeps me fuller longer. I
Mhm.
know that it's just gonna balance that meal better.
Mhm.
I don't know. It just the
Yeah.
things you learn though stick with you when
Mhm.
you experience macros, so it's kind of cool
Well,
how
that's why it's important making sure you're learning the right things,
hmm
which is a great place to take us because
Yep.
we're the
Great
generation
bridge.
that, yeah, we're the generation that needs to learn the correct dieting
Yep.
because Pam and Lisa, I love you both very much. And I'm not being mean when I'm talking about you, but we're going to talk about you a little bit. We were raised in the 90s
We
and
were
we were
raised with Weight Watchers,
Jenny Craig,
mm,
Atkins, like
Atkins.
all the things. The quick,
What's
let
the
me,
Atkins guy's name? Rob.
oh yeah.
Oh
Rob
man.
Atkins. Isn't it Atkins? Rob
No,
Atkins?
no, no,
No.
no. The actor that like is in all the commercials
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah,
Atkins.
yeah.
He's in Tommy Boy. I'm trying to think. What is he looks so good though. He always has. He
Mhm.
looks like he hasn't aged a
Yeah.
day.
Mhm.
So it just cracks me up. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, you really think that guy actually does Atkins and eats
Yeah.
all these
Eats
things?
this, yeah. But it's funny because that is, which you're seeing so much of, on social media, the almond mom and the,
hmm
whatever. Like we only know what we're taught. And
hmm
same with our parents. And that is what that generation, we're growing up in a generation that has all this information at our fingertips about health and fitness that our kids are going to think something different when they're grown. And that's all that this is we're just looking back at what we saw our parents do. And, there was so much attention on losing the weight as quickly as you can.
Well, I
And
mean,
it
like
was not about doing it
Weight
healthy.
Watchers, which I know Weight Watchers has changed a lot throughout the years.
Yeah.
It's still out there. But when we were growing up, I mean, my mom would go to a meeting every week
Hmm.
and get on the
Yeah.
scale in front of everybody to do it. It's just funny to think about now.
Yeah. Can we talk
And
about that though? My mom used to go to Jenny Craig every week. And
yeah.
me and my sister would go to Jenny Craig with mom. She would go back and get on the scale, and we would sit in the lobby and nail one of the chocolate chip muffins. And I'm like,
Yeah, see?
no wonder
Yeah. See, you learned a
we're
lot.
at a diet place eating a chocolate chip muffin, thinking we're just like
But it's a Jenny Craig chocolate chip muffin, so,
right. So it was great,
it's healthy, right?
healthy. Oh man, that's fun. We could talk about that for days.
Mhm,
But that's what's funny is like it's the generation that was raised in the,
mhm.
90s that are like, okay,
Extremes, kind of. There's still a lot
that
of
are
extremes out there.
that are trying to overcome the extremes, I guess
Mhm.
is what I would
Yeah.
say. Like
Yeah.
I do feel like we're the generation that's trying to
Yeah.
balance things out a little bit better.
Yeah, which is really great, and a lot of the younger ones too. Like I do, and
Hmm.
I do enjoy watching some of the 20s and younger
Oh, I
ones
do too. I
sharing
love
because they
seeing
are
them.
eating
Yeah.
real food and
They're
eating
all
lots
about
of
Whole
food.
Foods and yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
I love
which is great.
seeing that that age group caring so much
Mhm,
about their health and fitness at
mhm.
22 years old, whatever. And they're not, even like with alcohol, like they're balancing it out. They're not,
I
like, and
know.
I just like seeing that with that generation
Mhm.
because they're gonna grow up and not have all the issues that we have.
I know. Well, and that's something to mention too, is just talking about whole foods in general.
Yeah.
A lot of times we are looking for, obviously, we love a quick fix, right? We
Who
want a
doesn't?
quick fix. We
Mm-hmm.
want to lose weight fast. Well, unfortunately, that's not the healthy way to do it. You don't want to lose weight fast because you're going to lose all
Mm-mm.
your muscle mass, and muscle mass is so important for so many
Mm-hmm.
reasons, and you're going to hurt your metabolism and your hormones, all the things.
Yeah.
Well, what, um, what where was I going with that? Well, I started thinking about muscle mass and all that. I forgot where I was going with it.
I think
What?
this is a first for Keep Life Chatty.
Lost my train of thought there. What was I saying? What I was
I
talking
don't know.
about?
I was paying attention to what we were going to talk about next. So
Oh, Whole Foods. Whole Foods.
there
That's what I
we
was
go.
about. Sorry, y'all. Real life.
All right, we're
Where
bringing
I
it
was
back.
going with that was like quick fixes. You want the quick fix when sometimes instead of going and taking the pill or taking the shot, which that's a whole other subject and definitely needed for some people, but
Mm-hmm.
not everybody.
Right.
Instead of just jumping to those things, or something like meal services that, you're just eating packaged foods, think about what you're already doing. Are you
Mm-hmm.
already eating? whole foods? Are you eating a
Right.
lot of processed foods?
Yeah.
Start there.
Yeah.
Start by adding a vegetable in with your
Mhm.
meal instead of just eating everything out of your pantry. What can you eat more
Mhm.
out of your fridge and things
Yeah.
like that to kind of help? Start with what you're
Mhm.
doing instead of looking for something else to add in.
Yeah.
Um, when it comes to trying to figure out nutrition. If you're trying
Mhm.
to figure out nutrition because you're so confused,
Yeah.
first off, I highly recommend, I mean, that's what I did. I got a coach and I
Mhm.
learned
Yeah.
about nutrition and how to balance it.
Mhm.
I learned more about whole foods because a lot of times that sounds easy, like just eat whole
Mhm.
foods. It's like, okay.
But
And
it's
then
not.
you're still lost.
Yeah, but it's not always that easy either. Like, there's
Mm-mm.
so much more that you do need to understand that goes into it, but that's such a great place to start.
Yes,
You know what I
nutrition and just
mean?
learning about nutrition
Mhm.
is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And sometimes just working with some type of coach to help because
Mhm.
that way they can, anyone can like sign up and like do something like Whole 30, which is a
Mhm.
great 30-day thing to kind of flush toxins and things.
Yeah.
But when you're done with that, like what did
What's
you really
next?
learn kind of,
Mhm.
and like what works for you now that
And
you're
how
doing?
do you implement it into your everyday?
Yeah.
Like, how do you, as a busy mom who can't cook 3 meals a day from their
Mhm.
kitchen, how do you
Mhm.
implement that into your
Yeah,
life? And
because this
that's
is where we go
where.
back to that balanced
Yeah.
lifestyle, right? There is
Mhm.
a balance
Mhm.
of eating whole foods and some processed stuff but learning the balance of it, learning how your body reacts to certain things, all that takes
Mhm.
time and just
Mhm. Which
experimenting.
is pretty cool because we were just talking about our moms,
Mhm.
and like that 90s generation. But Leah actually coaches both of our moms. Your mom's
Yep.
been doing it for quite a few years. My mom's done it off and on, but she's recently gotten back to it and is doing better than I've ever seen her do. Your mom has aged backwards.
I know, we were just
And
bashing our moms.
yeah,
Okay, well, now let's,
now let's talk
yeah.
about the good. No, now that but they've
Mhm.
learned this aspect of health
Which is
and
really
fitness,
cool to
and
watch them do.
it is really cool. Like, my mom came walking up at the ball field last night, and I had just seen her that morning, but it's the first time I've seen her in like shorts and a t-shirt, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Whoa, like,
Yeah.
look at you go, Pam. Like, I'm
Oh.
so proud of you."
Mhm.
And it's more than just her diet, she's
Mhm.
moving her body, and your mom does workouts, and
It's
my
also
mom's.
mindset too.
Yeah, I mean, but they both have just.
But the fact that I can watch my mom run circles sometimes around me, like with my kids, because she's so full of energy
Yeah.
and just strong and
Yep.
happy and healthy, like
Mhm.
that is an awesome,
It is, and it shows
awesome
that you're
thing to
never
see because
like,
she was
it's
not
never.
like that
Mm-mm,
a
no.
handful of years ago. So
Well, and it just shows that it's never too late for you to learn something,
never.
and to figure out what works for you.
Hmm.
So yes, we did bash on our moms for a minute, but now we're here to say they are doing amazing, and I'm so proud of both of them.
And you know what? Talking about balance too, it is fun and balance what works for you because sometimes my mom, I'm like, "Ugh, of course she's eaten 3 of the best meals today, gotten all her steps in, got her workout in, got all of her water in. She's so consistent, can do it all day long, but she doesn't have a 5 and 2-year-old
Mm-mm.
running around,
No, okay,
right?"
let's go back to when we were in Breckenridge and she sends us the picture of her dinner that's the Kraft mac and cheese cup
Yeah,
or whatever. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because she was taking care of the kids.
yeah. So, I mean, you're gonna have days, like,
Mhm.
that are like that, like, it I'm happy for her, I'm glad that she can do that, but sometimes it is a little easier for her to
Yeah.
plan out her meals, spend a little bit more time in the kitchen, and she enjoys it now, which is awesome.
Mhm.
She
Mhm.
loves it. And I have days where I do that. All 3 of my
Mhm.
meals are awesome,
Yeah.
like, proud of it, but then I have
Mhm.
days where
You
not
do
so
the
much.
best
I
you
will say
can.
I don't really drive through drive-thrus
Mm-mm.
as much anymore, but,
Mm-mm.
I still eat junk here and there, just is
Yeah.
what it is, but I've
Yeah.
found the balance, and I
You
don't
have
feel
to find the
guilty about
balance.
it anymore.
Exactly. And that's like the healthiest place to be,
Mhm.
is when you can find that balance and not have that guilt, or
Yep.
just getting to a place where you're happy
Mhm.
physically. And this is something we touched on a little bit in one of our other ones, but talking about it today, getting to a place where you're happy physically, mentally, and spiritually,
Mhm.
and figuring out the balance of those three so that you can be the best version of yourself. And I think that's like the most important thing for me is, what do I need to do day in and day out to make sure like I'm the best
Mhm.
version of me, so I can be the best wife, and I can be the best mom, and I can be the best friend and sister, and whatever the role is that day or that time, like, what do I need to do to be the best version of me.
Mhm.
And that is living a balanced lifestyle
Yep.
so that you can show up day in and day out for all
Mhm.
these people and show up for yourself.
Don't say that you can't work out or you can't plan your dinners for the week. Don't say that. You can.
You
I
can.
promise you can.
Mhm.
And you are going to be so much happier if you do.
If you do.
And you
Yeah,
will show up as a better version of yourself if you're taking care
absolutely.
of yourself.
Mhm. Yep.
Bottom line. I can
Mhm.
tell the app that I work out with, the Fastway app, you can track your workouts like when you're done and it shows
Yeah.
you on a calendar.
Mhm.
April was not pretty for me at all. And I look
You
back and I'm
can
like, I
tell.
can tell. I feel like
Mhm.
I was moodier,
Yeah.
lower energy, and I looked at that chart and I was like, that explains it.
Mhm.
I was not
Yeah.
prioritizing it the way I usually do. Like I compared my
Mhm.
April month to like my January, February, and it was
Mhm.
like,
When it
oh,
was
like,
like, yeah.
yeah. So
Mhm.
it's just realizing that and seeing it right
Mhm.
in front of you. I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
Well, and I think that's where
does
like
matter.
we've talked about diet and exercise, but I think that's where like a routine comes into place
Hmm.
too. And you have to
Yep.
know your routine's not going to be perfect every day, but that is one thing that like we both have figured out is like what are the must-haves in our routines that that will allow me to show up that day and do everything the best that I can. And
What are your priorities?
yeah, what are your priorities and
Hmm.
what are you going to do to make those make those
Hmm.
happen every single day?
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the same for everybody.
Mm-mm.
Some people need to wake up and go for a walk or start their day that way. Some people need to wake up, get that cup of coffee, grab their devotional, sit down and
Hmm.
have some quiet time, start their day that way. Some people need that extra sleep and just need to sleep until their kids wake them up.
Sleep
And
matters too.
I don't know that those how those people do it, but that is what that those people need. I'm not those people.
Yeah.
But you just have to figure out what works for you and
And be
getting
confident in that, you know?
yeah, and be consistent with that.
Mhm.
And getting that to align helps, like getting your routine in order helps you make time for that workout and to plan your meals and
Mhm.
to do all those things. But
Schedule
even
your
more,
day,
yeah, but
schedule
even
your
more
workout
so,
in or your meal planning,
mhm,
grocery shopping in, schedule it into your day, make it a
mhm,
priority.
yeah, but
And you
even
don't
more
have to work out 7 days a week. You don't even
no,
have to work out 5, 6 days a week.
no,
Like, shoot for 3,
hmm
shoot for
and
4. And
walk and play outside with your
yeah,
kids. And, there's so much that you can do with your kids. It's getting your body moving if you would
mhm.
just get outside and do it.
If you have a friend that wants to go meet for coffee, say, "Yeah, but let's grab the coffee to go and go for a
Yeah.
walk." That
Mhm.
right there is huge.
Mhm.
Also, you can say no to some things too.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
if there's too much going on in life to where you can't prioritize yourself at all and you're snapping at your kids and you're moody or you're low in energy and you're crashing, zoom out, really look at what
Yeah.
all's going on. Maybe
Mm.
something needs to stop. Something
Yeah.
needs to be canceled.
Mhm.
Find space in your day
Mhm.
to maybe just be home more,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And prioritize your health and fitness and your kids will thank you for it, you
They will,
know?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think like with that, like also making sure like spiritually you're aligned with God and like where he wants you and
Mhm.
you're not, there's gonna be seasons where the gym is something, you can do 7 days a week. But
Mhm.
there's going to be seasons where God's going to call you to do something else.
Mhm.
And you have to listen to his calling and make sure you're not prioritizing that stuff over
Yeah.
him. And,
Yeah.
just aligning all of that together, I think is super important.
Yeah. Yep. And finding the balance of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
And making tweaks and changes here and there when needed, and that's fine.
hmm
This time might look different than 3 months from now, and that's
hmm
okay.
And you have to be okay with that. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
And you
Okay.
might be somebody that finds what works for you and you get to do it for the next 20 years and nothing has to change in your routine.
Yeah, there
I
are
would
some
love
people
that.
that have done
I
the
would love
same
that
thing,
so
been
much.
so
But
consistent with it. But
mhm,
yeah, I like change every now and then too. Sometimes.
sometimes.
It's okay.
Not me. I don't do well with change. But yeah, so I just think like that's the biggest thing that the biggest thing that I want to get across with this is, and we actually posted something about that this week, is like, it's not selfish to take care of yourself as a mom.
No.
Like taking care of yourself actually should be a priority because the better you show up to take care of yourself, the better you're going to be for your
100%.
kids and
I
your
got up this
family.
morning. and went for a 30-minute walk before anybody else. I went for my 30-minute walk, then I came and did my devotional, and I
Mhm.
like doing it that way when the sun's up earlier and I can.
Yep.
Um, then when Lakin came downstairs, I just hung out with her for like 20 minutes and
Yeah.
talked to her. And I
Mhm.
thought to myself, I would not be this patient and sitting here talking to her like this and this happy. Like I was so happy.
Yeah.
You
You're
know,
so
like
ready
I
to
would
see
not be
him.
that happy if I
Yeah.
didn't prioritize that walk and devotional
Yep.
than that. And like that
Mhm.
works for me, you know?
Mhm. Yep.
So
Yep.
finding the balance of it all.
Yep.
Finding what
Absolutely.
works for you. That's what we've done. And, and we might start sharing more. We've talked about it, might start sharing more of this type stuff, the
Yeah.
health and nutrition and fitness
Yeah.
type things. And maybe even some good, yummy, easy recipes. Maybe we should do that.
Mhm.
Start
Yeah.
showing that a little bit more on our Keep Life Simple Instagram. So
Mhm.
go
Because that is one thing, like, we both enjoy
put
doing
it out
so
there.
much is
Hmm.
cooking and, making easy
Well,
meals.
I mean,
Easy meals, easy
I
meals.
enjoy eating at home. Which is
Yes.
crazy. It's like I enjoy eating at home, but I don't love cooking. So my cooking is
Yeah.
very simple.
Mhm.
If I see a recipe and it's 47 ingredients, I'm like, nope,
You're not doing
I'm
no,
not
it's I
doing
think
it.
mine's, like, maybe 5
Yeah.
is, like, my max.
Yeah. We like to keep life simple around here.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at
So
that.
we will. We'll start showing a little
Hmm.
bit more of that
Yeah,
too.
for
Hopefully
sure.
y'all enjoy it. But this was fun.
Yep.
Hopefully, if you have any questions about anything, reach out.
Yeah.
We're happy to chat all things.
With any of it, yeah.
Yep.
We would love to
About
help somebody
any of
with
these topics.
routines, your coaching, anything,
Yeah.
we're here to help. So,
All about the balance. So,
mhm.
okay.
Alright, well, we've
Well,
got one more episode of
yes.
season 1 for Keep Life Chatty,
Yep.
so we
So
will get
keep your
that
eyes and
up.
ears open.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, we'll talk to you next time. Bye, y'all.
Bye.